I don't really know how this is gonna go, but I am just gonna talk. I'm gonna talk about things that are important and useful and stuff that matters to me, and overcoming hardship and becoming a better person. Because at the end of the day, I always lean back on a philosophy of you can always improve no matter how good you are at something, no matter how much you think you have something figured out. You can always get better at something. I think that's important. That was my summer goal. For 3 months straight, I just worked out, I worked, I stayed disciplined to what I cared about. I ate good foods, I ate the right foods, I worked out hard, I worked an internship, and I only improved on myself. And I am not a master at anything. In fact, I'm so far from it. I'm not even close to knowing anything about anyone or anything. So I think it's always important to know that no matter what, you need to always be learning, to be evolving. And this summer, I really focused on becoming better at things that I felt insecure about, that I felt inconfident about, that I felt like not my best self. And I consider myself a very positive, confident person. But even I still have incredible insecurities that, everyone shares. And so I worked on the things that I was insecure about. And, I'd like to be like, oh, those insecurities just don't exist anymore. I'm completely fine, like, blah, blah. And that's obviously not true either. But what is true is I'm a lot less insecure about those things. I'm a lot more confident. It doesn't mean that they've gone away, disappeared. 3 months isn't gonna do that. A year might not even do that. It might take 5, might take 10 years, who knows? But honestly, insecurities are one of those things where it's a confidence thing. It's a getting your reps of confidence in. I think if you practiced every single day telling yourself something or doing something that involved your insecurity, I almost guarantee you would get better at it over time. I almost guarantee you that within a year, you'd be like, yeah, I don't love that about myself, but I don't really give a fuck. Like, I really don't care. And that's like the most important thing, right? It's not giving a fuck. Because I know for me, and I know for a lot of other people too, it's like insecurities stem from anxiety. It's like, oh, what does this person think about me? Or what if they think that I'm ugly? Or what if they think that my physique's not good? Or what if they think blah, 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 blah. You get the point, right? It's like, if you tell yourself and you convince yourself and you practice with yourself that you don't have to be insecure about it and you can be confident about it, even if you're not actually confident, you fake the confidence, which I do all the time, you're gonna get to a better spot. And it's literally about faking it. Like the saying, fake it till you make it, is the most true thing in the world. Like literally LARP everything in your life, and most of that is gonna become true. And that's like, that goes into like the law of attraction and, the universe working in your favor and manifestation and all that things. Which is, by the way, one of the most important and powerful things you can do. But insecurities are entirely optional. And if you practice your insecurities, if you fake your insecurities, meaning you fake confidence in said insecurities, you will be so much better off. I pledged a fraternity, and so for about 2 months straight, there was a lot of activities we had to do, and I didn't have any time for the gym, and I didn't have time to eat my meals, and I didn't feel locked in, and I started to lose weight, and I started to see my body slim down and slim down and slim down and lose muscle, and I ended up losing about 15 pounds in like 2.5 months. And that's not a healthy losing 15 pounds. Like, I'm not somebody who needs to lose 15 pounds. Like, no way. Like, that is not it. And it made me so freaking insecure. It made me so insecure and made me feel like shit, and it made me portray on others. It gave me worse anxiety. It gave me everything bad. Everything bad. And when I got done with, pledging my fraternity and I was initiated, I actually had time to do my own thing, and I quickly got back, from college, and I got home and I was like, I can sit here and I can bitch about me looking like shit, or I can eat the right meals, I can get the right amount of sleep, I can take the right supplements, and I can work out, I can work my ass off. And if I put my mind to that and I do that every single day for days, weeks, months, years, I'm gonna be in a hell of a lot better of a spot. And so that's what I did. I plugged away. And this summer, I went to the gym 6 times a week. I followed a split. I was eating close to 4,500 calories a day, a little over 200 grams of protein, 300 plus grams of carbs, 100 grams of fat. It's like full on bulk, high protein, muscle building diet. And let me tell you what, it didn't happen overnight, but I got on the scale this morning, as I do every single morning. My last morning, I should say, in San Diego, and I was 16 pounds heavier, and I look a lot better, and my skin looks better, and I feel better, and I have confidence. And like, that's the stuff right there that's like the dopamine hit, right? Like, that's the shit that you're like, oh my fuck, like, that is awesome. And like, that was so rewarding for me, but it's also so obtainable for literally anyone. Like, literally anyone can decide when they wake up, what they eat, when they work out. I guarantee you can find 45 minutes of your day to do a fitness activity. Like, literally, that's it. 30 to 45 minutes. You could weight train, you could run, you could do literally anything. Just do something and eat the right way, get good sleep, avoid alcohol, and you can accomplish anything. You can accomplish anything fitness-wise. And I've worked out for a few years now, and so it wasn't like this was new to me. But it was one of those things where I was like, all right, like, I'm so far behind that I need to be extra locked in. I need to be extra focused on my diet, because it was like, okay, cool, I was 162, 163 before I started pledging, and then I lost 15 pounds, and so I lost a lot of that muscle. And it's like, all right, we got to go back to the drawing board. And so it's like I had to double down on everything. I had to really lock in everything I was doing. And the moment that I could feel in my body I was doing the right things, and the moment those first couple weeks go by and you're like, okay, I look a little more full. Okay, I'm up, I'm 154 pounds now. Like, great, like, that's awesome. And it's just like, you stack those days on top of each other, and next thing you know, it's 3 months down the road, and I'm 170 pounds. And it just didn't happen overnight, but that reward feeling of doing the same things every single day, knowing you're getting the right results, knowing that you're putting on muscle, it's the best feeling in the world. And for me, that killed so much insecurity. I mean, so much. I was always a confident person, and I always wanted to, have my shirt off and like show off my physique and like all that stuff. But the more that I lost weight in spring, and the more, I was caught up in pledging a fraternity and doing that whole thing, the more I did become insecure, and the more I didn't feel like myself. I felt like I lost my identity. And I'm sure a lot of people can like understand that when you go through a phase in life where you're so caught up in something that you forget like who you are. You're like, in my case, like, who's Brady? Like, Brady's someone who works out, he plays golf, like, he does sports, whatnot. It's like none of that existed. And it's like, that's where you can easily fall into the rabbit hole of just becoming someone, A, you're not, and B, someone you don't like. And so this summer for me was probably the most influential months of my life, just because I was able to go from such a bad place in terms of insecurity and mental health to now where I'm driving back to college and I'm like, I'm a completely different person. Like, the person that left Boulder in April is completely different than the person who's coming back in August. Just completely different. And so I think that for me is the most, like, influential thing. Like, if I could continue to do that and I can stay committed to what I want to do, like, there's nothing that can get in my way. And that applies to literally everyone. Like, there's nothing that can get in your way if you do what you want to do, if you are who you are, and you enjoy the things that you enjoy. If you enjoy hiking and you stopped hiking, go on a freaking hike. You're gonna feel better because that's who you are. If you don't do the things that you enjoy or love, you don't end up in a good mental spot. And obviously that sounds obvious, but it's very easily obtainable to get a new job or go off to college or I don't know, find some friends maybe, right? And then next thing you know, a few months has gone by and you're like, wait, why haven't I gone on a run? Or why have I stopped working out? Or why don't I monitor my nutrition anymore? And it's like, you look in the mirror and you're like, why am I insecure? And it's like, because you're not doing the things you love. If you do the things you love and you become good at them and you chase them and you have something to chase at all times, you become a happier version of yourself. And for me, I learned that lesson the very hard way, but the right way. The very hard way being, I lost a lot of what I felt was myself. I lost a lot of my identity. I lost relationships, and those were all my fault. Like, those losses, those people who I lost in my life, you know, are direct fault because of me. Like, that was my problem. And when you have insecurities and when you have things about you that you don't like, you tend to put those on other people. And when you put those on other people, nobody likes that. Like, I don't like that, yet I was doing that. And so it's just a good perspective of, you know, insecurity and poor mental health can really drive away people. And it's one of those things in life that, like, I had to learn that lesson. And it's a phenomenal lesson to learn because it teaches you that you need to stay true to yourself, stay true to what you believe in, stay true to what you love, what you like to do, your hobbies, your interests, you know, the things about you that make you you. Like, that is how you build steady and foundational relationships that you keep for years upon years. You know, speaking from firsthand, you know, experience, like, you will drive people away if you do project your insecurities, because no one wants to be around someone who whines and bitches and complains all the time, which ended up becoming me. And I'm the least complaining person ever, but I definitely was a few months ago. You know, I certainly was, you know, and no one likes that at all. And that's one of those things where, you know, everyone can tell you that, like, oh, love yourself, have good mental health, like, blah, blah, blah. But you don't actually experience that until you're looking at yourself in the mirror and you're like, holy shit, like, I don't like what I'm looking at. I don't like how I think about myself. I want to change. I want to become better, right? You don't realize that until you're actually in that moment. And then once you're in that moment, you feel like you're already screwed because you're like, oh shit, like, you feel like you're in a hole. And regardless of how deep that hole is, you can always get out of that hole, no matter what. It may take, like I said, months, days, years, whatever, but you can always work your way out of that hole. And so for me, this summer, I plugged away, and I was like, I'm gonna put on muscle, I'm gonna put on weight, I'm gonna feel confident about myself, I'm gonna look myself in the mirror every day and say to myself, that's someone I'm proud to be, you know? And the moment that I had that mindset shift of, okay, this is who I want to be, and now I'm gonna go chase it, and I'm gonna chase it like a motherfucker, like, over and over and over again. I'm gonna wake up, I'm gonna eat the same shit every day, I'm gonna have 3 protein shakes a day. Every single day, I'm like, I don't want to do that shit. Fuck, like, damn. And you do it, and you do it, and you do it, and then you see results, and then you see results, and then you see results. And then next thing you know, you're like, I feel completely different. Like, I'm a completely different person in the best way possible, right? Change is good. Change is not always bad. Change is a good thing. And when you change your habits, when you change the way you think about yourself, and the way you look at yourself, you just become more confident. And honestly, life is always and only about confidence. Confidence is the only thing you need. If you have confidence, you can fake literally everything. One of my bestest of friends has the most unreal connections ever. And he's not, he's not the most like well-spoken man. I mean, he's well-spoken, but he's not like he's not like charmer by any standard, but he has confidence. His confidence. And I'm sure he's nervous when he goes up and talks to these people, but he has so much confidence that it doesn't matter what he's thinking. He's just like, I'm just gonna go do it. And then next thing you know, his contact list is filled with a ton of people who are worth millions and billions of dollars each. And I ask him, I'm like, how do you know these people? Like, how do you make that connection? Everyone around, his friends, my friend, like, how does he know these people? And it all comes down to one thing. It's confidence. It's straight, utter confidence. And he doesn't give a shit about anything. He's just like, I'm gonna fake it till I make it. And I thought that was so interesting to me. And I thought, I started to look more into that about faking confidence. He's like, I'm not confident at all. I just fake it. I just pretend to be confident, and then, it works. And I think that that's such a good approach, because literally, you don't have to actually feel confident to be confident, which sounds weird, but it's true. It's like, you don't need to be confident here. You need to be confident here, aka you need to be confident visually. Like, who cares if you don't know what you're doing at the gym? If you just pretend to know what you're doing at the gym, if you just pretend to think that you're eating the right way, if you just pretend to know what you're studying in your classes, and you actually do study, and you do put work into those things, and you fake that confidence, eventually that confidence does become real, and eventually you do become unstoppable in said field, And I just think that's the most powerful thing ever. And I greatly admire that about him, because so many people nowadays, the societal norm, I feel like, for Gen Z is so insecure and hides behind a phone screen and is scared of actual interaction. Yet there's people out there who are our age who somehow, some way, luckily know people, and it's not actually luck, it's faking confidence until it works. And so that for me was my biggest thing, because I knew when I got back, my physique didn't look as good. I knew I was 15 pounds lighter. You could see it in my face, you could see it in my body, it was just noticeable. If you were to put two pictures side by side, you'd be like, yeah, you can tell I've gained weight. And even when I was at that lower weight, when I wasn't feeling confident, I was still like, okay, I'm gonna post a TikTok. I'm gonna post a TikTok about my physique, and I'm just gonna do it for confidence reps. Literally the only reason I posted on TikTok, was to fake confidence. I'm not actually confident, or I should say, I wasn't actually confident at the time. No way in hell was I confident, not even close. I knew I didn't look as good as I could have. I knew I had lost weight. I knew I had lost a little bit of muscle. And so I just pretended to be confident. I just pretended, to be like, oh yeah, I look good. Even though in the back of my head, I'm like, you don't really look good. Because I know what good looks like, and it's not this, But, yeah, I think you just have to fake confidence. I think you have to fake confidence. And I think in order to do that, you have to identify your insecurity and then attack it with confidence. You're insecure about your nose, your eyes, your hair, the way you look, your body, whatever the case is, it's like fake it. Fake being confident, and I bet you no one will notice. Ever. No one will notice. And that's the beauty in everything, is that no one really actually cares. People are so consumed with themselves, right? And I'm not saying that's a bad thing. People are so consumed with themselves that they actually don't care about you or what's going on. Obviously, if it's your best friend or your family, completely different story. But I'm just saying, your average friend or someone you know, odds are they really don't care. They don't care that your hair looks a little weird, or your makeup is off if you're a girl, or if you have really bad eye bags, or like your eye, like whatever the hell it is. Like, no one actually cares. Nobody. Like, the love of your life, or the best friend of your life, or whoever the case is who becomes really close to you, does not care about the way your hair looks or the way your skin looks. Like, they don't, right? And needless to say, people just don't care, right? And when you have that mindset of like, people just don't care, then you don't care. And when you don't care, you eliminate insecurity. And when you don't care and you eliminate insecurity, now you have confidence. And that's how you build confidence. I don't believe that you start with confidence. I think it's something that you have to train. I think it's like a muscle. Like, I go to the gym, I hit a chest day, right? I think it's the same thing as it's confidence day. You get a sick pump, you get a good workout in, and next thing you know, you feel really good about yourself. You get the dopamine release, you feel really good, and it's like, that's also training your mind. Like, you're training your mind to be proud at what you look at in the mirror. And that shit right there is so freaking healthy for you. It's so healthy for you to look at yourself in the mirror, give yourself a smile. Sometimes I'll even like look at myself and just laugh. Like, dude, like, you look great, Like, I'm talking to somebody else, because that's how you have to treat your mind and your body. You have to treat it like it's someone you care about a lot. Because when you treat your body and your mind like it's your own, you treat it like shit, right? You don't treat your best friend or your girlfriend or your wife or your husband or your boyfriend like shit, right? No, you don't. You're nice to them. You care for them. You're grateful for them. It's the same way with your own mind and your own body. And that's something I've journaled a ton about, just talking about. It's like, today I looked at myself in the mirror. I got a great workout in. I got a great pump in. And I was confident with the way I looked. I took off that freaking pump cover in the gym, and I was confident with the way I looked. And that right there is literally the most important thing. It's the most important thing ever. And there's nothing more important than looking at yourself in the mirror and smile and say, I'm happy at what I'm looking at. And if you're not happy at what you're looking at, then you change it. You get in the gym, you get eating right, you start doing the things that you know you need to do. When you start doing that shit, you do it day after day after day after day, rinse and repeat, and I guarantee you in a few months you'll be like, wow, I'm really happy I put in that work in. Really happy I put that work in. And in doing so, of doing that over and over and over again, the same meals, the same workouts, over and over and over again, you build discipline, you build confidence, you eliminate insecurity, and you feel good about yourself. You build happiness. And all of those things, that sounds amazing, right? I mean, who doesn't want those things? And so, I don't look at myself every day and go, wow, I look amazing, blah, 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 blah. That's, narcissistic. In no way am I saying be narcissistic. But I'm also saying be grateful for who you are. Be grateful in the way you look. Be happy in features of yours. If there's something you really like about your face or your body or whatever the case is, or your personality, like, channel into that, like, play into that. Like, if that's your strength, and that's your strength, like, use it to your advantage, and so, I don't know, needless to say that no matter what situation you're in, no matter how shitty you feel, no matter who comes in, who comes out of your life, no matter what, you can always become better. You can always, always, always learn from your mistakes. You can learn to become better. You can learn to better yourself. You can learn to become someone who is lovable and trustworthy. And above all else, you can build yourself up, because at the end of the day, the only person for you is you. That's the most important thing. No one else can hear your thoughts. No one else can see the way you see yourself, and use that to your advantage, not against you. Use that to your advantage, not against you. So, thank you. Hope you enjoyed the podcast. That's everything that's on my mind. I doubt anyone will watch this, but if you do, Thank you. Have a great day. Stay confident. Keep getting better.